All right, here we are for our Game 3 finale. We have our Korean Series of the Week, KT versus Afrika, going to Game 3. We've seen a little bit of shaky play from KT. Really, this is supposed to be a team that they're supposed to be walking over. It should be a top 3 team. Afrika is predicted to be struggling to play for playoffs. So, yes, they were historically the SKT beaters. That for some reason they could win against this top team, but then still lose against lower Korean talent. But this is a different team. This has been a different team put together, and there's different players on here, and they really are not supposed to be challenging here for this, for these top Korean spots, where you have to figure that the winners coming out of the LCK here, like always, have an advantage going into Worlds. So I love seeing this, and I love seeing this competition. It makes for an exciting LCK season. We're going to be seeing some bans coming out: Rise, Kog'Maw, Kalista, Ezreal. So KT targeting the 80 carry pool here with 2 bans so far. And more bot lane bans. So Braum taken out. That's going to put a high priority on Taric, and Tahm Kench will be probably the most contested supports in this meta here at 8.1. Sejuani has been pretty much 100% pick banned here in Korea, and when he's not picked, he's banned. So here he's being taken out. Both popular picks. GP is being a #1 pick, but we have seen some counter picks, such as with that Nara, which was flashed over earlier. So we have seen the Gangplank. In North America, Huni took out a Lucian pick to counter Gangplank and did extremely well. So that's probably also has to do with the fact that he had a much higher skill ceiling than his opponent, and that he's known for this champion in that situation. But it is absolutely a counter done in solo queue. A little high-fi going on there from the KT squad, going ahead and picking up the Kazakhs. So Score going to be feeling very comfortable on that, giving high fives and everything. And just as predicted, Tahm Kench is going out early in the draft. You generally want to be picking a hyper carry for Tahm Kench, or you want to give him multiple targets that he can devour. And Kazakhs is absolutely one of those multiple targets. Kazakhs jumps in, often dies, has GA. He generally builds GA about 3rd item, and and then Tahm Kench can go ahead and devour. And then right over is the Taric. So that's basically the support trio these days, is Taric, Tahm Kench, Braum. And if you're not picking one of those, then it's generally maybe an Alistar. But those are by far the 3 most picked supports all across all leagues. And Varus is seeing a lot of play. And I didn't see this coming into this first week. And I have to admit that I wasn't following high-level solo queue before starting to cast this first week of games, and Varus is a little bit different than some of these other lethality 80 carries that are popular. He's building Rageblade, so and he has his ultimate, which has a fair bit of CC. It's a stun. So he's very different, but has a lot of different ways that he could be useful for, including engaging. The Flash Ultimate is a very reliable engage tool. Now Camille being picked for the top lane, it's basically going to be who can carry the most from the top lane, and it's going carry for carry. Both melee champs, both looking to get online around mid game, and Camille is going to be looking to be able to split push at a higher efficiency than Gangplank. Gangplank is looking to build a gold league, while Camille is looking to be able to split push more effectively and be able to do more in the team fights when the teleports do come in and they are fighting. So bans coming out, KT targeting the jungle, banning out Rengar and Zac. Another 80 carry band here, looking to pinch Deft, but mixing it up as well with an Azir band against Pawn. So just taking out some key champions that these players can definitely play well, and not picked in yet, but the Vayne would make a lot of sense for this comp. Be definitely good for the Tom Kench to be able to get out to safety. And really, Kench has 3 targets. He could really take any of these carries out. And this mid lane, I would look for someone who has some decent wave clear. That's who I would pick. It's maybe a little bit different at this high level solo queue level, but maybe somebody that would be able to push the wave. Like I would have said a Malzahar on KT would have been good. But let's see who else Afrika picks up. Looking for their jungler now. J4 is up. I would not think... Okay, well, the Shyvana works because of the Malzahar and the Gangplank. The Malzahar is able to push waves in, so able to let Shyvana counter jungle and get neutral objectives because pressure is going to be put in through the mid wave. Gangplank is able to work effectively with Shyvana because he's going to have the ultimate. So whenever Shyvana is possibly caught a little bit outside and a little bit away from the team, he can call in the Gangplank ultimate to help win that trade, that key one-on-one trade that so often a Shyvana versus Kha'Zix is going to have. Rounding up the group, we have a Karma, and I love this pick because it's a facilitating pick. They really didn't need any more damage with a Camille, Kha'Zix, and Vayne on the team. They either needed more tank or more utility, or a little bit of both. And you're not necessarily going to pick your tank in mid lane, not really optimal. So picking a Karma really helps give some poke, some speed, some shields, just a little bit of everything, and fits in nicely with this comp. So I like the Karma. Not quite a meta pick. Really, you're saying that in your mid lane you're not going to be necessarily trying to carry or get kills, but you're going to try to let your top lane or your jungle or your AD carry. And frankly, there's enough star power on KT that Pawn here, as you can see with Karma, has more than enough tools for him to play Karma. And we saw Faker do it a whole lot. Best mid lane in the world. A lot of people say, if you exclude Apto and Dopa from the conversation, and he went ahead and picked Karma a whole lot. Same with Lulu. Like, you just have a lot of tools from the mid lane, picking utility like that. And so we're gonna have to see how Pawn plays out this pick, and it's against Malzahar, and it's not a great matchup. You'd have to give the pushing advantage to Malzahar, but Malzahar is going to be looking to pick up more kills with his ultimate, most likely running ultimate hat, which lowers the cooldown on his ultimates. What most of the Malzahars have been running, and you just get your ultimate down to about like a 40-second timer. And it's a very, very key ability. Camille going in and starting with the ability that gets her the movement, and Smeb not able to get a whole lot of damage. Probably did not want to start the grappling hooks. Probably not optimal. I think she generally wants to start her one of like a wave pushing ability, but it's not that important. It's not like starting in the jungle with a wrong ability, where you're a little bit more affected. Like possibly you're doing that first and second camp not as quick as possible. So if we're looking at the lanes, we see that top lane, it should be a little bit in favor of Camille. In the jungle, we have Kha'Zix that again is able to affect the map a little earlier than Shyvana. Kha'Zix has a little bit better ganks because you can kind of jump from outside the screen. Well, you know, when you upgrade your jump, that is. Jumping right back in. Whoa, a little whip-de-woo. Camille's definitely don't do that in my games. I really like seeing that. Just shows you the creativity that you can have on this carry champion. Going over to the mid lane, like I said, Malzahar has a little bit of the pushing advantage and a little bit more of the kill potential, whereas Karma in the mid lane definitely helps the team a little bit more, whereas does not have too much kill potential. And then in the bot lane, of course, Varus is able to kill the Vayne, but the pick of Tahm Kench is actually a really good counter against Varus. So when Varus ultimates anybody, generally it's the AD carry, Tahm Kench immediately devours whoever Varus ultimates and then takes them to safety. So it's really, the thing is that Afrika have a couple of different methods. Here, first gank going on to Kin, and even though losing Flash, getting first blooded by Score. So good gank there, able to jump in, and as you can see, just under 3 minutes, Kha'Zix already has a successful gank and a successful kill. It's just something that Shyvana, especially as a Shyvana player, I know this better than most, it's just not something she's able to match. You just rarely have a successful 3-minute gank as Shyvana, nor do you ever go for it. So this is the disadvantage of picking Shyvana, and yes, she's one of the most highly picked solo queue junglers at the moment, and I'm trying to climb with her, but it's proving difficult because you really only have a few ways that you can play the game, whereas with other junglers you have options. In Shyvana, you just options are limited. How you win the game is limited, and that's really why she's not picked too much in competitive play. So with this Shyvana pick, it's been a few times we've seen Shyvana pick. We've seen Mike Young on TSM pick Shyvana here for his first day. We didn't see that go very well. Definitely one of the low points of that game. And I'm gonna make a prediction that we're gonna see a little bit less Shyvana in week 2. And whether even if the champion is not touched, I have a feeling that maybe might not even happen week 2, but by week 3 for sure, we're not going to be seeing Shyvana as much. Once these metas start to get a little bit more refined, you're going to start to see a traditional 3 or 4 junglers, and Shyvana will not be part of that group. So looking over at the farm score, we see a big lead for Camille up in top, and that has a lot to do with the gank that Score was able to give on Kha'Zix. Now with triple the farm, Wave starting to push towards Gangplank. It's exactly where Camille wants to be. Her first buy, she's going to love that first buy. She's going to buy 1/2 of an item component, and Smeb here on Camille is going to get back and is going to have all kinds of kill potential against this Gangplank. And look at this Gangplank going Doran's Blade, his first buy back. So looking to get he knows he's going to get pushed in. He knows he's going to have some trouble. So wanting to get that little bit extra damage, that little bit of lifesteal that you get with the Doran's Blade, just to keep him in lane so that he can see us under tower. And you don't want to be doing this as Gangplank, but if it's between you being able to get an extra 10 or 20 CS and be able to stay in lane a little bit longer, get that little bit more experience, and then delaying that first item Trinity Force, then you're better to delay that first Trinity Force. Make sure that you're picking up the CS, you're staying in the lane, you're not losing a whole level or 2 down in experience advantage to your lane opponent. So, you know, it's kind of like it's rolling with the punches. That's why you can't have the same static build every time. And just as predicted, we'll look at Camille already picking up that Sheen and that refillable potion, so she's going to do all kinds of damage. And look at that. That was only 2 hits. That was an auto attack and a W. And she's already got Gangplank down to nearly half health, like 60%. So here, Score looking at coming to top lane. There's a ping going up top. I'm not sure if that's a ward ping. No, that's a go here ping. And here in the exact same position, Camille coming back in, getting the ultimate out. Score is going to look to come in, and Stopwatch used. Actually, that was a bait because Camille already started to walk backwards there. So they knew the stopwatch was up. It's past 6 minutes. There they go. They just baited it out. And now Gangplank is in all kinds of trouble. He doesn't have his flash up for the next 45 seconds. He has no more stopwatch. Here they're looking for a counter gank or a 2-on-2 fight up there at top. And Shyvana is stronger right now. She does have level 6. She does have a 10 CS lead over Kazik. And she wants to fight. She wants a 2-on-2. But Camille knows that Shyvana is up here and does not want to get off a tower. That's about as far as she wants to go out. There's no ultimate here for Camille. There is an ultimate for Shyvana, and they're deciding not to go on top. I was thinking with the level 6 of Gangplank that maybe they would try to dive her, but because she does not have a stopwatch. But deciding not to and taking a little bit more of a cautious approach. They could have dove there. You jump in with the ultimate. You put the the ultimate of Shyvana. That's the only jump available on Afrika. And then you follow that up with the Gangplank ultimate while continuing to get damage. And it might have been enough. It might have been enough. I probably would have went for it in my game, but you didn't have information on where the jungler was just at that point. Or as you can see, there is a ward on the red side, so they perhaps knew that Kha'Zix was doing their red and did not want to do a dive with the jungler on the top side of the map. Gold here in favor of KT, 1400. They got that first blood. They have that really nice lead on top lane. You probably should be trying to extend that lead rather than put pressure anywhere else at this moment. It is an Infernal Dragon, so going top lane could mean giving up this Infernal Dragon. It's not something that you want to give up this early, especially against the Shyvana. Shyvana can solo a dragon at level 4. Already at level 7, Spirit on Shyvana definitely can. Got the farm lead. Looking to try to even the gold, but it's going to have a lot of trouble doing that without picking up some kills for his team. So KT's just got CS leads all over the board. Look at these high quality scores at 90 and 94 here in mid lane and bottom lane. And this is the skill difference in these players. Is these players always put up these numbers, almost always. And whereas when another player puts up a number like that, you're like, oh wow, they're doing so well, like they're really having an on game. But with these players on KT, these are the normal farm scores. This is what you normally see from them. If anything, I'm looking at Camille's score right now. I'm thinking, why is it so low? Yeah, you did get a kill. You did have to put a little. You're putting a little bit of aggression. But why don't you have 10 more CS? Come on, Smed. You know, step it out there. It's easy to say that when you're one of the best in the world and your team's designed to win worlds. So tracking the jungler. Looks like there's some jungle pressure going to the top side of mid. Karma's going in and getting the W, getting that stun. And that's the thing with Shyvana is you just walk into lane, and unless your lane has some CC, and let's look at these lanes, really only the mid and bottom have CC. Gangplank has the ultimate, but it's not a great form. So the control ward is blocking the vision of Afrika's ward there. So Shyvana is not going for this first dragon. A little bit unusual. Deciding to get a little bit of a experience and farm lead, and he does have that over score. He should be able to win a 2-on-2 fight with him and any one of his laners. There's Shyvana going in, but unfortunately a little bit under health to be doing this play, but nice stopwatch to be able to turn this play around. Shyvana picking up the return kill. Just goes to show you how useful this item is, and you're not sealing it in low-level solo queue as much. At least it's not in the impact that you see it in the pros. In the pros, it's really a whole lifeline. And without that, Shyvana was going to die in lane. But giving just enough time for the Malzahar ult to channel while keeping score there, while Shyvana is able to help clean up that kill. So the farm lead for Vayne is a bad omen for Afrika. Already now at 15 CS up. Pawn's going to look to push this wave and then head back. Should be able to either upgrade his Phosphang or get the other piece to his Morellonomicon. We're going to see what preference that pawn has on this Karma, and it's the Morellonomicon. So picking that up around the 13-minute mark, very solid because of the great farm score. I already had over 130 before 13 minutes. Alright, score is looking to visit back in the top lane. Flash is up. Mid lane looking to come up as well. Here's Malzahar up around the Rift Herald. Shyvana with a tricky little lane gank. I always find these are effective because your opponent never expects them. They so rarely expect them. Now here it's a little bit awkward because the wave is pushing, so Shyvana might be waiting here a very, very long time. And that was very fortunate that Camille aggressed on the gangplank there, even though there was a whole lot of minions. So some quick thinking there from Smeb flashing out. It's just unfortunate. She was going to try to be aggressive, but wasn't able to because of the jungler that was just right there hiding. But Spirit was hoping for a kill there. He wasn't just hoping for a flash. A little less kill pressure now on the Camille. Game pretty even with only an 800 gold lead by KT. They do have this first Infernal Dragon, second Infernal Dragon on the way up. I'd like to think that if KT can just somehow keep this close, get that second Infernal Dragon, that they could just ride these dragons to victory. That with the quality of your players, if you can get double Infernal Dragon on a Shyvana, you're generally looking good to win this game. Especially at this high level. Camille does not have her flash, does not have her ultimate. Both still on cooldown, so she did not want to dive that, but if she had both of those up, you could have believed that was going to be a dead gangplank. Farm lead in the top, up at 34, so does have that early advantage. Should be able to get the split push pressure on. Once you get that Trinity Force up and running, once you have teleport up, going towards your second item, you should be able to go on one of those side lanes, either top or bottom, and be able to push it where the enemy is going to have to send somebody, and generally you can melee just about anyone here. I'm looking on the team. Maybe Shyvana eventually is going to be able to one-on-one you, but just not quite yet. And definitely the Gangplank does not have the Trinity Force ready yet, and is a long way from it, whereas Camille is very close. So once she gets that Trinity Force, she should be able to have a lot of kill pressure on this Gangplank, and she's most likely going back to buy it right now. Great farming by Pawn on the Karma. Shavana trying to clear out the vision, but realizing it's just a little bit too risky. There's the ultimate used. Deft quickly uses the stopwatch as a counter. Very nicely used. Flash having to be used because Tarek was channeling the double stun. And that, if either one of those are caught, most likely there's a death there. So good job by Deft. Reacting perfectly, using the less important item, the stopwatch first, and then using the flash afterwards. So here's a 4-on-2 dive. We're going to see how Afrika goes ahead and set this one up. Not advisable because of the Tahm Kench. And deciding against it. Going back to contest against this Shavana. And the winner of this fight is going to be getting an Infernal Dragon for them. So it's a straight 5-on-5 use. The Tarek ultimate used a little bit early for Afrika, but now they're following up now that the Shavana's got Dragon, and 2 people low on each squad, both at about half health, but Afrika does get the Dragon side. So because of the Shavana ultimate still being in use, gonna go ahead and try to pick up this Dragon to even it out. Looks like that KT has decided to split objectives. So they're going to put pressure on this top side, but they're not even going to get a lot because Gangplank's already almost there. Excuse me. So Dragons have been equal. And Afrika doing an effective job being able to knock KT out of the Dragon area and deciding to be very forceful in taking that objective and ending up winning it in the long run. Spirit working on that XP, working on that gold, looking to build that frozen mallet. He's already got 1 piece. Big advantage when you're playing Shavana is when you get that ever important 2-level lead on your jungle and the jungler. That's when you can be very confident in dueling, especially the jungler. But you can even generally you're strong as a laner at that point. When you're 2 levels up on the enemy jungler, you're about a laner at that point. And so Shavana's looking to get that. The CS lead is staying about the same. It's about 20 up. Only about a half level lead for Shavana. As you can see, they're both 11, but she will turn 12 a little bit quicker. Trinity Force is finished for both top laners. It just goes to show you what Klepto does and what playing Gangplank does, because there's a 42 CS lead, and yet they have practically the same items. Even Gangplank's got a little bit more. Camille just got up ahead, picked up that Tiamat, so has a slightly bigger item lead, but not really the same that you'd be facing against any sort of other top laner who doesn't have Klepto, who isn't Gangplank, getting all that extra gold. So fight going around the Baron pit. Normally this side of the jungle is ignored at this point, around the 20-minute mark. Ultimate used. Follow up by Shavana. It was a good job getting that Kha'Zix out, but they might lose this follow-up battle. Camille going in, just trying to dive the Malzahar, just not quite picking up the kill. Gangplank able to respond. A little bit of a misplay there. KT was able to pick up the initial kill, or I mean, Afrika was able to pick up the initial kill on KT, and that has to do with the Malzahar ultimate once again being used in conjunction with Shavana diving whoever Malzahar ultimate is. That's something I'm going to be trying in my flex queue games, I'd say. Doing the Malzahar Shavana combination is something that I've seen a little bit here on the first week, and it's something that it looks extremely effective. And yeah, you just set it up always with the Malzahar ultimate, and then you have the ultimate available for Shavana, where you dive in You add that damage to that prone target, that suppressed target, whenever you jump in, and you're able to turn on your W and get those autos and auto resets with your auto Q auto. So Afrika being able to turn the tide a little bit. KT did have an early gold lead, did have that first Infernal Dragon, and it's been swung back by Afrika, who evened out the dragons and now has about the same gold lead that KT once had at about 1600 here. Malzahar ultimate up again. This is because of the ultimate hat ruin. Able to pick out key target pawn, followed up by the Varus ultimate, being able to duo for that. Very, very, very nice. Another 2 kills, and these are chaining of CC ultimates on key targets. This is before the Quicksilver sashes can be completed for KT, and they're in a lot of trouble. They know this Malzahar is chewing them up. Kuro, very impressive series. He just might have my player of the series here. Going against Pawn, one of the best. And Pawn is not rolling over. He's not having a bad series. It's just that Kuro is just doing so well. Flashing over the wall is Tarek. Gonna want to stay alive as long as possible. Ends up dying, but that's okay. You got Baron. You got the top laner. 23 minutes here. Great early time to get Baron. Shyvana's going to want to keep on farming. There are some wolves there, but you don't want this to crash. I probably would, if Shyvana would have went wolves and let GP clear out that wave, but maybe I need to be a little greedier. Maybe I need to get that lane CS as well. I keep insulting this Shyvana pick, but yet look, 3-0-3 has the level lead, is up a level. Went ahead, picked up that Baron. So Shyvana, even though not getting first blood, falling behind a little bit initially, able to come right back. Probably her strongest point is the mid game, like around that 15 to 30, 15 to 35 minutes. That as long as you're not falling crazy far behind, or your lanes are falling crazy far behind, you're generally going to be stronger than the enemy jungler. So Spirit looking to take a quick dragon out. It's going to be securing the second dragon. They still have 2 minutes on the Baron timer. And I really like the Baron timer here that they show in the LCK. It's actually quite important. It's where this is the only region that I see it where it actually has a countdown timer for Elder and Baron. So that was Mata devouring and flashing out, so trying to be extra safe. Deft on Bane does not have any mana. Not wanting to get caught out there. Deft has only died once. Wants to be able to continue scaling, where Vayne is going to be starting to get turned on right now. She's got 3 items. Went ahead and picked up the rapid fire cannon as a 3rd item. 2nd level boots. Gangplank now with his 2nd item, so he's just able to now be able to start to get some big barrels. You got some survivability from the Sterix gauge. Been seeing people build Yomus quite often as a 2nd or 3rd item, so I would say that's most likely his next item and not the Infinity Edge. We're going to have to see though. 4,000 gold lead now for Afrika, so now with a couple extra towers and the Baron turned over, Afrika has been able to extend their lead, and they're going to be able to get this tower as well. Picking up a kill on Camille would be really important, and Smeb stayed around there a little bit too long, so definitely a misplay from the Camille. Once you see that 2nd champion turn around the corner, like you see the 1 champion pushing it, when you see that other champion, that ganking champion coming over to take the tower, where they have Baron, and you have no teammates around, you got to just back off. You can't stay stay there. And there we see all 5 members swinging down to bot lane, not only picking up that 1 tower, but getting that 2nd tower too because of Smeb overstaying. So a little bit of a misplay here by what was once considered one of the best, probably the best top laner in the world. But you'd be remiss to say that he's been underperforming so far in KT. So if this KT squad is going to be a championship contending team, you have to look for a better performance from Smeb, and he did really well in the first 10-15 minutes of this game, but has fallen off dramatically in the last 10-15 minutes. So whereas 10 minutes ago, she was your main source of power, now she's your biggest liability. Varus with that ever unusual Rage Blade, Static Shiv, Wit's End build. What item next? I have no idea. Maybe a Hurricane just to throw it in there. Malzahar 2-0-4. Playing exceptionally well, starting a lot of these team fights off, getting a lot of these picks. This is definitely a strong point for Shyvana at this right now. Now she's got 3.5 items built, 2nd level boots, 4-0-3, up that full level on score. That shield from Karma is not going down anytime soon. So you're looking at the targets. You're looking right now if you're Afrika, can I get a pick on Camille, Kha'Zix, or Vayne, or really Karma? Like, these are all targets. None of them have a Quicksilver shot. Only Kha'Zix has a GA. So able to come back to life, and we'll see. Hopefully Mata's around to save whoever gets picked off next. But there's just a lot of targets. There's 4 targets. Who do you pick? Got a lot of them. Oh, and the bolt, it's traveling. Put hit. And it slows him. Stops the back, actually. So Virus moving a lot slower. As you can see, Shyvana is almost going to pass him. Not quite, but makes him lose about 3 seconds on that. Even though the kills are 5 more for Afrika, the gold lead still stays about the same. About 5,000. Nope, sorry, 3,000. They are playing around this next Baron. This next Baron could be the make it or break it moment. And you have to give the tempo advantage to Afrika. Really, it looks like they're just waiting to see who they're going to pick off. And KT, they have to make sure that it's not going to be Vayne or Kha'Zix that's going to get picked off initially. Kha'Zix, not as bad. He's got GA. You can work around that. Moving a little bit far there without the adequate vision. This is a 4-on-4. So far, neither top laner is coming to affect this. No Gangplank ultimate as of yet. Probably waiting for this engage to be a little bit farther. There's Deft getting a few key shots on Taric. And I believe that was 2 or 3 shots, and he already got him down. One of the tankiest members on the team. Significant damage. Looks like Gangplank wanted to move up a little bit closer towards the fight, leaving Camille to split push bottom. So a little curious on the decision there, picking up red buff and leaving bottom tower to die. Varus ultimate whiffed a little bit, so just a little bit of a misplay there. Tried to pick up Deft, but Deft tumbling out of the way. Just really threading the needle here. Just trying to show the superior Vayne mechanics. And you can do this with a Varus because you have that extra movement speed. And Taric ultimate used, and this is a great ultimate to have down. With the bottom tower going down, you know, oh, they're going in on a fight here. I didn't like that because of the low health of Deft. Deft getting Malzahar ulted. Now, looks like he's going to get picked up, and that's 2 kills going over towards Afrika. Afrika now at the tail end of this team fight is looking to push down mid, and they have a wide open Baron as well. We're going to see what they're going to try to take. One turret so far. You have Kha'Zix towards the back end, but not able to really get any sort of targets here when you have Shyvana on the back end. Malzahar looking to get picked up, but yes, but at what cost? You're trading over your karma and another kill, and this is going to be not only an inhibitor, this could be another inhibitor. I don't like this call. I like them picking up the second inhibitor right here. You get it for free. They looks like they're going to go towards Baron, so you had the option there. You had the you could have for sure gotten that second inhibitor. They're going for Baron Vision. They're going to clear it out. They're going to force KT to have to check this Baron and clear out the Vision before pushing out any more waves. But you had a for sure 2 inhibitors down. Afrika, I guess that would be the most conservative play you could do there, was finish off the mid inhibitor and then just set up Vision for Baron. Didn't quite see it. I guess they just don't want to give KT any opportunities to come back into this game. And Shyvana now at 7-0-4, level 16. She's got 4 full items built. And the Vayne not doing a whole lot of damage here. For a mid to late game Vayne, she should be doing a lot more damage than that. It's because Shyvana is so far ahead. Look how quickly that dragon was taken. Only 1 mountain dragon, and that was a mere 2 to 3 seconds that it took down to knock down that major neutral objective. As KT here, you could go towards dragon and try to trade objectives. You don't want to give up a team fight for it though. Just might fight over that jungle creep. And here they are going to go for it. At least try to get something off the map. Dragons are perfectly even, but with 1 inhibitor down, 1 wide open. Afrika with nearly 3 minutes here on the Baron. How are they going to get this win? Well, it looks like they're going to 4-man push bottom lane, push up Baron creeps, and you would think have the Gangplank possibly push middle or top. But Gangplank does not have his teleport up yet. Still has a little bit on that, whereas Smeb as Camille does have her teleport up. So if you don't have your teleport up, you don't want to be split pushing. So 5-man bot, Afrika looking to push these Baron empowered minions right towards the inhibitor. KT is not going to fight this. Instead, they're going to continue their own split push with Camille, forcing Afrika to have to back and to try to stop this inhibitor from being taken. And if they can get this trade, this is a very favorable trade for KT. Baron empowered backs, that's actually going to help quite a bit. Unfortunately, Vayne's not able to stop the back, but Camille gets the trade. And that's a real good macro map movement here by KT, understanding that that's not a fight that they wanted to take. They didn't want the 5-on-5 fight there on bottom lane. They in fact rather take the trade and inhibitors. They don't have Baron. They'd rather reset this map. Now losing this tower to like 5% health, they didn't want that. That is a pretty big disadvantage, because now when they're fighting at Nexus, that tower only has to be 3 or 4 shotted before going down. So that is a disadvantage, but overall, good play. You're going to be starting to get to full item builds very shortly. Afrika will hit those items first. And the first one to do it would be Shyvana here now at full build. And Varus now at full build. Malzahar deciding to get a few wards, so has a couple of control wards instead of finishing off his build. So probably the next time back we'll have the full build there. So Afrika still more powerful right now against KT. KT looking to get up to level 18, looking to also get their items to max. so that they're on an even keel with Afrika, because right now they are not. Now with 2 inhibitors down, I like that Afrika is not being too aggressive with this push. You just have a few seconds left on Baron. Go ahead, pick up this tower, keep your push going. This is a cannon minion wave as well. You don't have to go all in on this wave, but this is probably your best fight opportunity. Nice stun there by Varus, and that is the reaction you're supposed to see. Tom Kench picking it up, but look, just like I was saying before, you could devour one ultimate, but you can't devour a second one, and does pick up the kill against Vayne, as you can only do so much to turn the fight. And Afrika with their Baron control, Shyvana dominating the mid and late game. These key ultimates by Varus and Malzahar picking off the right targets and just having enough of these picks and these team fight engages to win. And even though Shyvana ended up with a much larger kill score, I have to give the player of the game and the series to Kuro. So yes, it might be debatable. So a lot of people might say, "Oh, look at Shyvana. She was like, she didn't die, and she, she had, crazy good kill participation and everything." Still, Kuro was able to go against Pawn, win out against Pawn, and get great pressure in the mid lane. Very, very key ultimates at pivotal points in the game, and it let Afrika get the lead on this KT squad. And yeah, boys, you lost your first series. You don't like what it feels like? Well, you're going to have to put in some work, and you're going to have to put in some effort. You're all superstars, but that doesn't mean you can't lose. And Afrika is showing some good preparation. Great performance. Positive things here. You knock out a tough opponent, week 1 of the schedule. Going to be going against some weaker opponents. You would like to think so later on. So getting this early win is big. I'm thoroughly enjoying what I see. It was a good series. It was a close series. I have to say on KT, it's got to be Smeb that's going to have to look at his play. He's going to have to step it up. You were given the tools. Score a gank for you, knocked your laner out. You had a 30 to 11 farm advantage, and you weren't able to continue it. Well, these are all the reactions. Yes, these guys are happy. But this is RavExel with the first LCK series down, looking to do many, many more. And although I won't be starting a LCK series like my good buddy Thorin, I don't actually know Thorin, he's just someone I follow. I have to say, a lot of exciting things coming up for the Korean League of Legends and for RavExel here in 2018. So, if you like what I'm doing, like, subscribe. I'm going to be doing many more videos. If there's any region you want me to focus on, maybe there's a highlight match from the LMS, over in Southeast Asia you'd like me to cast, or maybe the Japan League or Turkey, let me know. And I'm going to go ahead and start casting a lot more of these.